Gather!
Good old caravan rebut! Huh. Now let Paimon think. What were we up to the first time, remembers? Nahita's consciousness had been trapped by the doctor, but we followed the clues she left behind to help her. So much time has already passed since then, and it seems Sumeru's changing for the better now that Nahita's in charge, right? Paimon just hopes this peace will last a long time, and then Nahita won't have any more new problems to deal with. Yeah, guess you're right. Come to think of it, maybe it's all because of you. Maybe you're just a magnet for trouble. Huh? Me? Before Paimon ran into you, Paimon never ran into any trouble. At most, when she was super tired, Paimon got caught in some strange whirlpool and sucked out into sea. And even then, you fished Paimon out. Anyway, for Nahita's sake, maybe we should think about heading to our next destination for now.
Ah, look who it is. Running into you in a place like this? I can see you two still love wandering around.
Oh, it's Dia! Since when are we just wandering around? We're usually taking care of some serious business. Even though it may have nothing to do with our journey. But never mind that. What brings you here?
I just finished a commission in the desert for a usual client of mine. Nothing too interesting. Just escorting a shipment of goods. I'm on my way to report back. That's when I saw you two all the way over there, chatting away. What were you two talking about anyway? Huh? You serious? Can't say I saw that coming. But you bumping into you like this will become a rarity. I'm starting to feel sad just thinking about it. Hey, how about I gather a few mercs?
Thanks, but no need. Oh, Paimon had no clue you'd miss.
Sounds good. All you need to do to get to Fontaine is cross this stretch of desert and navigate some waterways. Knowing you two, I'm sure it won't be anything you can't handle. So, when are you leaving?
Oh, wait a sec. Paimon just remembered there are still a few dishes in...
I see. Guess you won't be needing a going away party or anything. It's sad enough to see you go like this. Though, now that I think about it, Sumeru wouldn't be what it is today without you. Seems true heroes always prefer leaving quietly.
By the way, should we go say bye to Nahita? Oh, good point. Then there's no need to bother her in the real world.
Then, I guess this is goodbye for now, Traveler in Paimon. Whether as a client or a friend, you're always welcome to come find me.
Goodbye, Dia. Bye-bye, Sumeru.
Take it easy.
There is no escape! Take it easy.
Paimon coming in! Paimon coming in! Is this level okay? Can you hear Paimon? How about we explore the area ahead of us later? How about we explore the area ahead of us later?
solidified!
Take it easy. Take it easy.
Rise! Gather!
Just what will become a...
Who's our target this time?
I don't understand. Whew. After crossing all that sand and water, we finally made it! Oh, this must be Fontaine's port. Wow, everything looks so advanced in Fontaine. Paimon's heard that the industry here is extremely developed, and there are all kinds of unusual machines. Just seeing the sights as a tourist is nice, but maybe it would be better if we found something to do. What do you think? Good idea! Seeking out the Seven is probably still our best source for information at this point. Yeah, the more we... So, what do you think the Hydro Archon's like? To learn about a nation's god, start with the nation's people. There seems to be some locals talking over there. Let's go see if we can join the party.
If you ask me, it's a tragedy how things ended for him.
Yeah, I didn't expect that kind of ending for him. I thought he would at least fight on a little longer for his family. I was expecting a sudden plot twist, but it's a pity that it never happened. Still, his story's...
Excuse me. Can I help you two? I couldn't help but no.
Hi. We're travelers new to Fontaine, and we had something we wanted to ask, but you seem to be...
Play? Oh, no. We're talking about something that really happened.
Really? Like, a real trial? But the way...
Well, good tales are often based on true stories, aren't they? And what you see in reality may also be someone deliberately putting on an act while harboring ulterior motive. Whether something is true or not simply isn't that important. The main thing is whether the story being acted out on the stage is splendid enough. Oh, but it looks like you're not from around here. You probably don't know that the Fontaine Court of Justice is called the Opera Epiclese, or more commonly known as just the Opera House.
But, shouldn't court cases be treated a little more seriously than that? Not to question Fontaine's way of doing things. It's just that putting someone on trial is usually a very serious thing.
No worries. Other visitors to Fontaine have wondered the same thing. You could say that we just don't want to waste the moving stories behind those cases. And as for your worries about whether the cases are treated with due reverence, we have the absolutely just and honorable Chief Justice Neuvillette, as well as the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal, a machine created by the Archon. Between the machine and the Chief Justice, false charges and injustice are a thing of the past now.
Oratrice? Is it some kind of machine, too? Wait, I almost forgot to ask you our question.
Oh, that's easy. Just go to the Opera House. Lady Farina practically lives there. You could definitely say it's her biggest passion.
I think what they mean... In that case, I'm afraid it's going to be a tad more difficult. You'll have to make an appointment well in advance, and it'll depend...
Huh. Is the Hydro Archon super...
No. Lady Farina seldom takes an interest with the nation's affairs. The reason it's difficult to make an appointment is simply because she's incredibly popular.
That's right. After all, she is the Archon. Though she may tend to get a little dramatic from time...
Huh. First time Paimon's ever heard of an Archon being described that way before. Wait! Paimon gets now! The Hydro Archon is...
Yeah, I suppose you could say that.
Hang on. This is still Fontaine's Archon you're talking about. You should show...
Yes, you're right. I guess I should at least try to be a little more respectful in front of visitors. Otherwise, I might get arrested and find myself face to face with Monsieur Neuvillette.
Come on. Sure, there's a lot of laws here, but nobody's going to be arrested for saying something.
All right! I think we get it. Thank you! At least we now know that we can find the Hydro Archon, but who knows how long making an appointment will take. Hey! What are you looking over there for? Huh. Maybe something's the matter. She isn't going to jump into the water, is she? Maybe we better go check on her. Hello there.
Huh? Ah,
Oh, okay then.
about many things, actually. I was just reminiscing about a place my brother and I would play when we were kids. It was just a
You're pointing at the sea.
No, people call the waters around Fontaine a sea. It's actually just an inland lake that's filled with fresh water. And no, I can still see that hill clearly in my memories. He would skip and jump, tossing sand, but now the water is gradually swallowing our memories. It won't be long before it swallows us.
Sorry. Paimon does.
Ah, I don't believe we've had the pleasure of meeting. Are you Lynette's new friends?
Oh, and
Thanks for looking after my sister. She often comes here to reminisce about our childhood, that's all. There's no need for any concern. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Linny, and this is my sister Lynette. If I had to guess, I'd say you must be travelers.
nice to meet you. Paimon is Paimon, and this is the Traveler. We were just talking with your sister.
I see. It's unusual for Lynette to be so willing to talk with anyone. In fact, she's
Oh, really? Then you two are just like us. Paimon's always the one talking for some reason. So that's how you think it is?
I also think my brother can be too talkative at times.
See,
So, what did Lynette mean just now when she said that the water is engulfing your memory?
oh, that. It's from a prophecy that's been circulating in Fontaine for some time now. Well, I suppose prophecy isn't exactly the right word, because that implies a certain amount of uncertainty. There's no doubt about what's happening. Where to begin? Let's put that question on hold for a moment. We still haven't formally greeted.
Did all the introductions earlier not count?
Hello, traveler. And hello, Paimon.
Hey! Why didn't Paimon get a handshake? You're not
Please, don't take offense. Just consider it a sort of etiquette we have here in Fontaine when making new friends. You should remember it. It might prove useful.
Oh! Alright then. Well, Paimon's just happy to have a local friend now. By the way, we were just getting ready to go to the Opera House to meet the Hydro Archon.
So you're going to see Lady Farina? No problem at all. In fact, please follow me.
Quake!
You said you were going to see Lady Farina? Well, it seems Lady Farina has come to see you.
So, she's the Hydro Archon? But how did she know we were...
My dear people,
rich and poor, those with cup in hand and those with nothing at all. Raise your glasses in celebration! If you don't have one, then just raise your hand in lieu. As you can all see, 2 unfamiliar travelers have arrived in our nation. Come, let us make a toast in honor of this traveler and her companion who have journeyed here from distant lands.
Is she talking about us?
I've long heard of the turmoil and chaos you've left in your wake as you visited other nations. But I welcome you nevertheless. No, I have come to receive you personally. Fear is for insignificant cowards. I am a god, and I will never entertain the notion of such meaningless... Of course, seeking an audience with me is the most sensible thing to do. It will allow you to truly behold my power and wit...
Yeah, Paimon still can't believe it. Feels like what the Hydro Archon's entrance was, Miss Hydro Archon?
I see. As Outlanders, you inevitably lack even some of the most basic understanding. Don't forget that even the gods can be divided into the mediocre and the excellent. I suppose it's only natural for you to be awestruck by my abilities. You had best stop and consider. Do you really have the noble qualities and etiquette necessary to communicate with a god? All it takes is a flick of my finger for me to know everything about you.
Whoa, talk about sounding high and mighty.
Oh? What's with...
Wow, I didn't expect to see Lady... Wait, does this mean they're the legendary blonde...
Hey, what's all the commotion? Oh, is that Lady Farina?
Of course. That's the blonde traveler. The one all those...
Ooh, I've got to see that.
Yes, but don't get too excited now. My dear believers and spectators alike tend to get quite rowdy. And despite the noise, I've come to tolerate all their ruckus. You may consider this my reward to all of you. I have determined that there will be an epic duel between myself and this traveler from another land, just as you were hoping to see.
Now she wants to fight? Aren't we getting a little ahead of ourselves?
Are you not afraid?
What are you trying to do, traveler? Provoking a god in front of her people?
Stand down, Clorend. I admire her bravery. Few have the courage to draw their sword against a god. Unfortunately, people nowadays only crave to be thrilled, and a mere duel will not slake their thirst for excitement.
Huh. Yeah, she's right. Just a duel wouldn't be all that interesting.
On Aranias, criminals are always requesting duels to defend their honor.
You see. Then, as the god of justice...
Whoa.
Right. This is Fontaine.
Why do you care so much about the crowd's reactions? Seems you've spent a little too much time in the Opera House. Besides, how exactly do you plan to have a duel in court? You mean you're going to put us on trial?
Oh, we have reason to put you on trial. It's obvious, isn't it? According to Fontaine law, no one is permitted to release any flying objects within Fontaine city limits during the first 3 days of each month. You are clearly guilty.
Oh, so that's what they've done wrong.
You call that obvious? What kind of law?
Precisely! Now, if you two have no objections, then in the name of the Hydro Archon, I order your arrest.
My apologies, Lady Farina. I don't mean to I don't think that Paimon here meets the definition of a flying...
You tell her, Linny!
Great magician Linny, my beloved citizen. I'll permit you to object, but how exactly do you plan to prove your claim?
As a magician who just rained on your parade, I naturally should shoulder the responsibility of saving the show. So, with such an audience gathered here...
Ta-da!
What's that on Paimon's back? Hey, when did you do that?
There. As you can all clearly see, Paimon should be classified as, well, something like a balloon. This rope has been in the Traveler's hand all along. It was just that no one could see it before.
Huh? You call that magic? You've got to be joking.
I'm not sure what to think.
Amusing. Very amusing, Linny. Just the sort of unexpected twist that I enjoy. With you here, today's performance can finally be called
Performance?
in which case, consider the matter of your trial resolved. But when there are valid grounds, I will not only judge travelers from abroad, but even the gods of other lands. I look forward to seeing your upcoming performance at the Opera House, Mr. Linny and Miss Lynette. That's enough for now. Toodaloo!
And just like that, she's gone! Well, that's the most unpredictable Archon Paimon's ever seen. He never even had a chance to ask her anything. But that's a problem for future Paimon. That whole...
Don't mention it. I just happened to remember that there was such a law, so I did a little preparation, just in case. I didn't think it would actually... So, now do you see...
She can be a bit confusing at times, but she is still amenable to reason.
Anyway, Paimon had no idea you were a magician.
I just know a few simple tricks I use to make a living. Lynette is my... It will actually be my first time performing on the most prestigious stage in Fontaine, the Opera House.
But isn't the Opera House where...
When there are no public trials being held, the Opera House hosts a variety of other performances. To the people of Fontaine, the line between a trial and a performance can be a little blurred. And speaking of performances, I would be remiss to forego this opportunity gifted by fate.
My brother's always excited to make new friends.
Oh, sure. We don't really have anything...
Splendid. In that... Oh, you really mean it? Then I'll take you up on your offer. This is a magical item known as a magic pocket. Perhaps you can help me distribute them to the people here.
Huh? What are they going to use it for?
About that... I'm not sure exactly when it began, but a prophecy... It says that every person in Fontaine is born with sin. No matter how the nation of justice holds trial after trial, this sin cannot be absolved. Until one day, the water levels in Fontaine will rise, and the sinful people will slowly be drowned. In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon will remain, weeping on her throne. Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be...
That sounds pretty gloomy. Why are people...
There are lots of guesses. Some say that the ancestors of Fontaine stole the power of the seas and stirred its wrath. Others say that the people of Fontaine never heeded the first Hydro Archon's warnings and offended Celestia. But here in Fontaine, evidence is what matters. There hasn't been concrete evidence for any of these claims, so they can only be regarded as conjecture.
If even the people in Fontaine don't know what sin they committed, wouldn't it be better just to ignore the prophecy completely?
That's exactly what the people did at first. But in the last few years, the water levels in Fontaine have actually started rising.
Many places have already been completely submerged, and now lie beneath the sea.
Many people carry on with their lives as before and shrug it off as a natural phenomenon. But my family and I think that the people of Fontaine shouldn't ignore the possibility, which would end up sentencing them to death. We hope that at least the people who reside near the waterfront can move away before it's too late. So, we've started distributing magic pocket. As a magical item, these magic pockets have—
Oh, Paimon gets it!
Perhaps only absolute power could ever contend with such a catastrophe. Now, if you'd like to help, then please give these magic pocket—
So you're the blonde traveler. Oh, a magic pocket? Thanks. Please, also...
What's this? So you also believe in the prophecy.
What? You mean...
No, I believe in the prophecy. The story says that people once lived in the ocean. But as time wore on, people desired to live on land and developed blood vessels, encapsulating... So, if you ask me...
Oh, we hadn't heard that one before.
All right, I'll take it. I guess I just feel that being dissolved into the water doesn't...
I don't want that thing. Way I see it, if the prophecy's true, life is all about living in the moment.
You should still take it.
Oh, all right, fine. Thanks. It's just that... if I start...
Oh? You already handed out all of the magic pockets? That was fast. Yes, but that will change once disaster strikes. I know they'll change their minds, so it's only right to...
Is there anything else you need to do before...
Yes, one last thing. I have the magic pockets made by a workshop in the court of Fontaine. Since we're out and about...
So, you want to collect materials?
Oh, that would be much appreciated. We'll need some Romaritime flowers. I remember seeing them near the waterfront on the east side of the harbor.
I remember. But where?
It seems we have to use Hydro to collect the maritime flowers.
This world is...
Who's our target this time? Take it easy.
You made quick work of that. I can tell you're an maybe next time.
No.
Fine.
So, we're going to the court of Fontaine before we head to...
There. The young girl.
Huh?
Magicians and thieves practice similar methods. We watch her movement.
Oh, he's right!
Shh! Keep your voice down. We need to think of a way to catch her, but it seems she's very alert. Perhaps we should split up. You two can ride the lift over there and wait up top. I bet that'll be her escape route. All right.
This is the spot where Linny wanted us to wait. Oh, look! Isn't that her? Oh no! Did she notice us? What should we do? Should we chase her? You're right. She might also be... Nothing's happened for a while now. Paimon wonders if Linny caught the thief. Yeah, let's go.
Are you sure that's...
No, that was all. Anyway,
Oh, were you returning what the thief had stolen?
That's right. Pity I wasn't able to catch her. She distracted me by dropping the thing.
I saw the general direction she went, but Linny...
Oh,
I'll be all right. It's just a twist.
If you want to play at being a hero, at least try not to get hurt doing it. Imagine what would happen.
You're... I have to admit that the thief was even... But at least we were able to get the stolen items back, so...
what a slippery little thief!
All right, let's put this little detour behind us.
So, we ride this thing to go into the city? What an ingenious way to get...
This is an aquabus. It allows people to travel between several key locations around Fontaine. It's pretty convenient, but the ride can become a little dull after a while. The scenery is always the same.
So you mean it's still boring even when I'm riding with you?
No, that's not what I meant. It's just that, well, you don't really talk that much. Besides, it doesn't really feel like a real trip when it's just the two of us.
Whatever.
Guess that's what it's like to be an older brother.
It's about time for us to leave. Let's get on.
What? Traveler! Paimon!
Charlotte!
Oh, I'd never guessed I'd bump into you all riding the Aquabus. In the story of my life, this is big. What are you doing in Fontaine?
Yeah, it's quite the coincidence. But as travelers, we're all, though we still have no idea how...
Oh, no need for introductions, Paimon. I would recognize I wouldn't be much of a reporter if I didn't know who they were. It's a...
Nice to meet you. From the Steambird, huh? We've often...
It's an honor to meet you.
Now that everyone knows each other, Fontaine suddenly doesn't feel like such an unfamiliar place. So, what have you been up to lately, Charlotte? Any big news?
Not too much. When there isn't any breaking news, I mean, you can still manage to keep readers' attention as long as you tell things from a clever enough angle, even if it's the same old topics. For example, reporting on how a scammer once deceived vulnerable girls into relationships, or how a financial criminal was once so poor that they ate a single piece of bread for 5 days. Ah, you're right. Seems you know me pretty well. Oh, I just remembered. I've been following a case lately. You mean the serial disappearances of young... That's right! These stories are the talk of the town right now. If I'm the first with a draft ready to publish when the case is finally cracked... Oh, when that happens, I bet all the other reporters will shed tears of envy. I've already gathered all kinds of materials.
So, what is the...
That's right! The first missing girl case happened, and ever since, after a period of time, another girl disappears. What the cases have in common, but the scariest part, is that to this, many suspects have been arrested over the years in connection with this case, but shortly after each arrest, another disappearance would always happen. Yes, it's possible.
Yes, I agree. And at the very least, the family of those missing girls deserve... I just imagined for a second what I would do if Lynette were to suddenly disappear. I'd pay any price to get her back, and then find a way to track down the culprit.
Please don't imagine that, Lenny.
Hey, we're almost there! Look!
I really enjoyed chatting with you.
Yeah, us as well.
I have an interview to get to.
Okay, Paimon hopes...
Bye now. Oh, be sure to stop by and see...
What a tough job. Always running around and
If you don't mind, how about we stop by my home first?
Sure, we wouldn't mind at all. This...
Take it easy.
Illusion shattered!
Doing maintenance on this, statue. Take it easy.
This is our current abode. Ah, Fremine, you're home. Where did everyone else go?
Oh, they all just went out a moment ago.
I see. Everyone is getting busier now that Father will be returning soon. I suppose that can't be helped. Allow me to introduce you to my little brother, Fremine. He is a phenomenal diver.
Hello.
Nice to meet you! Paimon is Paimon, and this is the Traveler!
Linny, could you come here for a moment?
What is it, Fremine? Do you have something to tell me? Okay, I see.
Is everything all right?
Oh, it's nothing. We were just discussing a little housework. Sorry for the interruption. Oh, before I forget, the Traveler and I collected more materials to make magic pockets. Were you able to get any, Fremine?
Yes, I went diving and gathered lots of materials. I was about to give them to you.
That's our Fremine, always quick with the underwater work. All right, I'll take these to the workshop.
Looks like rain.
Oh, you're right. But wasn't it clear and sunny just a moment ago? Fontaine's weather sure is weird.
I'm afraid that's just how it is here. It often rains on days where there are trials being held in the Opera House, but don't worry, it'll clear up soon enough.
What's wrong, Fremine?
There's a legend about the rain that I tend to believe. It's said that a dragon of water once resided in Fontaine. Though we don't know where the dragon went, every time it weeps, the skies will cloud up and pour out rain. When I was a child, my mother told me that if I wanted to go outside and play, I should yell toward the sky at the top of my lungs. Hydro Dragon, Hydro Dragon, don't cry.
If it's an elemental dragon, then having the power to make it rain wouldn't be very unusual. Let Paimon try something. Hydro Dragon, don't cry!
Doesn't seem to be of any use. It is just a legend after all.
You know, you might be a more popular magician if you understood the concept of romanticism. Or could at least play along.
Sorry. It might be because we've never met the Hydro Dragon. Perhaps it can't be comforted by the words of strangers. It rained for longer than I suspected. Oh, it's already getting late.
Was there something you needed to do?
Yeah, some preparations for the show at the Opera House. I need to find a way to catch the last aqua. On the day of the performance, just ride the aqua bus to the island of Aeneas. I'll have Lynette meet you at the fountain in front of the Opera House.
Oh, are you leaving now?
What is it, Fremine? I'm in a hurry. Oh, I get it. You feel nervous delivering the materials for the magic pockets, is that it? Perhaps we could trouble the Traveler to help us take these materials to the Beaumont workshop and deliver them to the owner there? I'm afraid that Fremine can be quite introverted, and the boss there tends to be pretty talkative. Fremine has always been a little afraid of—
No trouble at all! Don't worry!
Sorry for the inconvenience.
Oh, no need!
Thanks again, you two.
Oh, hello there. New customers? Looking to buy, or do you need something made? Or perhaps you're just—
Oh no, we're just here to deliver some material.
Ah, these must be for Magic Pockets. I could tell right away. I've already made several orders worth now. No need. They've already prepaid several batches worth. When they told me what they'd be using them for, I even offered them a discount. But they insisted on paying the full amount, saying that I had a business to run. It seems both—
Whoa! So—
I can't say for sure, but who knows?
Hey! Is this machine—
Why use your hands when a machine can do the work? It would be a waste not to use the latest technology. And wasting is a kind of—
But where does a big machine like that—
well, but basically, everything we usually use here in the city is powered by indemnitium. It's a type of energy that's produced from trials.
Huh?
Well, I'm not completely sure of all— When a trial is in session, the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale harvests people's belief in justice and converts it into energy to be used all around Fontaine.
So that's what its other function is? But Paimon still doesn't get it. How could something unreliable like people's beliefs be turned into a stable power source for these machines? Oh, yeah! So that means the Hydro Archon
Even though I've never heard anyone really put it that way before, besides indemnitium, we have another type of energy called pneumosia.
Here you are chatting the day away. Since you're already talking...
You again? Didn't I already promise you that I'd have the more I owe to Confrérie of Cabriere by next month?
Yeah, but how do we know that you won't go running off by the end of this month? I want 50%.
Huh?
It seems business isn't so great for the workshop.
Hey, hold on. Before you go around trying to collect payments, why don't you settle your own debts first? If Confrérie of Cabriere wants to poach clients from Northland Bank, that's fine. But I'm afraid you still owe the bank a hefty sum of mora. So why don't we work things out between us first, before you get back to your little conversation here?
You're from Northland Bank. But we said we'll pay everything we owe next month. Why are you hounding me now?
Traveler, Paimon! I didn't think I'd run into you here in Fontaine. What are the chances?
We're surprised to see you too! What are you doing here in Fontaine? You didn't want to stay in Snezhnaya?
Long story short, I've already been in Fontaine for some time now, and honestly, things have been pretty boring. But it seems that fate brought our paths together today. Not only will I have some good friends here now, but ones who always seem to find trouble. Either way you look at it, it seems things are going to get a lot more interesting now.
Pretty sure we'd want to avoid anything that you'd find interesting. Besides, our trip here has gone pretty well so far. Right, Traveler?
Hey, you, Northland Bank boy. Aren't you forgetting something?
Don't interrupt. It's not often I run into the Traveler like this. Why don't you wait for me over there?
You kidding? Aren't you the one looking for us? You really Listen to me, boy. If you want your mora, fine. Why don't you come and take it?
Hey, I just said not to interrupt. Oh, by the way, Traveler, the last time I took Tonya and Tusser ice fishing, Tusser said,
"Hey, that's way over the line! All right, boys, let's see who has to pay up now!"
Can you at least let me finish one sentence? Fine. Though the bank told me not to get rough with our client, you're the ones who started it. This is an act of self-defense. You two will have to be my witnesses, okay?
I'm sure this won't take...
Brace yourself. This is gonna hurt.
Right! What's your deal, Brad? How are you so strong if you're just a staffer from Snezhnaya's Northland Bank? Wait, don't tell me you're...
Oh, now you notice. It's a little late, don't you think? Just make sure you understand that you don't mess with Northland Bank. Got it? Huh?
Now's my chance!
Huh. That was weird. I'm not sure. It's as if I suddenly lost control of my hydropower.
Strange. How could that happen?
Never mind. It doesn't matter. If I want to stay sharp, I shouldn't be relying too much on my vision anyway. Besides...
So what are you doing in Fontaine?
Well, I guess it...
Huh? What kind of reason is that?
I don't know, but recently... there seems to be some sort of...
Maybe you lose...
That is a possibility. I can't remember if I ever mentioned it before, but it was during that time I learned nearly all of my abilities. The one who took me under her wing and taught me was named Skirk. She was always quiet and very mysterious. Nobody knew where she came from or what she had been through, and she was always very strict when teaching me combat techniques. One time, I asked her why she was willing to take me on as an apprentice. From what I could make of her answer, it was because I had awakened it, and traces of it remained on me. She said that all my combat training would be useful in the future.
But what is it?
She never explained that, but my guess is that it's related to a dream I saw when I had just fallen into that abyss. In my dream, I was in the deepest depths of the sea, and the boundless seabed was all around me. But in front of me appeared a whale that was so massive, I felt like I couldn't breathe.
A whale? Oh, that sounds familiar!
That's just an abstract form of a whale that I create using my elemental power. It takes that shape because the scene I dreamt of the whale...
So you used the whale as inspiration for one of your moves? So why don't you just go ask your master?
You make it sound so easy. Ever since the incident I experienced there, I've never stopped searching for Master Skirk and that unknown abyss. But it's been years now, and I've still found nothing. There isn't even a trace of the place where I remember falling into the abyss.
Oh, it sounds like...
Yeah, I'm out of leads at this point, but there's nothing more I can do. It seems that strange encounters in this world... Oh, seems the time...
What? More work for the...
No, it's more of a personal appointment. Lately, I've been sparring with some of Fontaine's official champion duelists whenever I'm feeling bored.
Official champion duel?
Yep. In Fontaine, before a criminal goes to court, they're given one chance to defend their honor by requesting a duel with an official champion duelist. The champion duelists are all-powerful fighters selected from among the nation's best. And the duel itself is a no-holds-barred fight with no specified stopping point. So engaging in such a duel is regarded as a symbol of defending your honor. If a criminal manages to win the duel, they'll be acquitted. But if they lose, they'll have no choice but to stand trial. And the worst-case scenario is that though it's rumored that Fontaine has a death penalty, from what I can tell, no one has ever been officially sentenced to death. So really, the only people who opt to duel are those who have suffered a grave injustice in being accused, or those who greatly value their honor. Otherwise, why gamble with your life?
So, do many people actually get out of their trials by winning the duel?
Apparently, it's exceedingly rare for anyone to actually win. Fontaine probably enacted this system as a way to show that the nation respects the honor of its citizens. Besides, none of the champion duelists are to be trifled with, which is exactly why I was itching to face them as soon as I got to Fontaine. Apparently, the one I'm meeting today, Clorinde, is the strongest of the champion duelists. I had been asking her for some...
Well, that's child for ya. Paimon feels like we heard that...
Oh, before I forget, I want you to have...
Huh?
I'm just worried that it could become uncontrollable again. I'd be pretty upset if it got in the way of my duel, so I think I'll be better off. Besides, I just need you to hold on to it for a short...
Paimon knows what you're up to. You just want an excuse.
Whatever gave you the...
That sneaky guy. Well, since we don't have much to do for now, we might as well walk around and see the city before Lenny's performance. Wow! Who could have seen that coming? The reporter who was barely around for most of the story was the murderer all along! Sorry. Paimon was just surprised, that's all. The whodunits here in Fontaine are a lot different than the light novels you see from Yai Publishing House. It's so exciting to reach the moment when the mystery is uncovered. Oh, sorry about that. Hey. Lenny said that the Opera House is on Aranias, so let's go ride the Aquabus!
Take it easy.
I wonder where he's from.
I think the hyper...
Whoa! Now this is fancy! The Opera at Eclairs. What a place to hold a performance! No wonder Lenny and Lynette were looking forward to it. Huh. Looks like there's a lot of people standing around the fountain up ahead.
Oh, Archon, please bless us with a bright and healthy child. We pray.
I don't know why you always feel the need to ask so much. I'll be happy.
I guess if there are, kid.
Maybe the... What's wrong?
Vache. Vache.
say anything? Are you—
Welcome to the Fountain of Lucine. All the water flowing through Fontaine converges here. Lenny asked me to wait here for you, remember?
Right.
What do you mean? There are a lot of people here right now.
Hey, you're not trying to scare Paimon.
I might be able to tell you something that could help explain the voice you— In fact, you might not be imagining things at all. I suspect that what you— result of your hypersensitivity to the hydro element.
It's because of her sensitivity to the hydro element? But what would hearing a voice have to do with elemental power?
When do you cry, Paimon?
Wait, what? What does that have to do with anything?
Just answer me. When do you cry?
When really sad? Oh, and—
Then you should understand that tears contain your most intense emotions. Like I just mentioned, the Fountain of Lucine is where all the flowing water in Fontaine converges. Even the tears that fall to the ground will eventually— So maybe what you heard was the intense emotion coming from someone's tears.
So, what did the voice say? Huh. If you—
Rather than worrying about them, don't let that calm look of his fool you. He tends to get pretty nervous just before a performance.
Oh, right. That makes sense. Let's go in and see Linny.
Take it easy.
Traveler and Paimon, good to see you. I knew you two would come.
Are you kidding? We wouldn't miss it for the world!
I can tell, but you're actually right on time. The audience still hasn't started entering the venue yet, which... The Opera House has assigned seating, so you always have to make reservations. I've already reserved your seats.
Ooh, front row!
Don't mention it. There's no need to keep...
Hey, Lenny! Could you come over here and take a look at this?
Oh, I'll be right there. Seems there's an issue with the stage props over there.
Yeah, we'll just go to our seat.
Take it easy.
traveler. Maybe we should strike up a conversation with the person next to us. Since we're sitting together and the rest of the place is practically empty still, it's kinda awkward if we don't say anything. Oh, you little... Of course you put this on Paimon.
Excuse me, I did not realize you felt awkward. I am terribly sorry. I would be perfectly happy to chat with you if that is what you would like.
Oh, so you heard all of that, did... wait, that's not it, Paimon's... Sorry, Paimon's the one who was being rude, talking under... Oh, Paimon's got it. You're also here early and sitting in the front.
A friend, you say? Well, if Mr. Linney would like to be my friend, I would be more than happy to reciprocate.
Oh, so you're not friends with Linney, then? Oh, this is getting more awkward by the second. Paimon nearly forgot to make her an...
It is an honor to meet you two. I have heard of your needs across Tevat. And as required by proper etiquette, I will also introduce myself. I am...
Oh, Monsieur Nervillet. What an honor it is to have you here to see my show.
Ah, Mr. Linney. I should say it is in fact an honor for me to see your performance in person.
Wait, Nervillet? Could he be...
I don't know who Monsieur Nervillet it is. Allow me to introduce you to Fontaine's Chief Justice. That seat is always reserved for him. It wouldn't be too much to say that he's the symbol of justice and honesty here in Fontaine.
Whoa! Sorry for being so rude just now. Paimon...
No offense taken. Being Chief Justice is merely what I do for work. Nearly every person has their usual reserved seat, so I'm not so special, really. And by the way, I should probably let you know, even though I would prefer not to, there's someone sitting up there in the VIP seats that has been striking a pose for quite a while now. I believe she is trying to give you a most elegant and impressive first impression. So I think you should take notice of her sooner rather than later. Otherwise she may become flustered.
Huh? Oh, it's Farina, the Hydro Archon. Huh. She sure has a smug and satisfied look on her face. Guess she has no idea that you saw right through her act.
Very good. No need to pay her any more attention. We may now enjoy the show.
Huh? So is this what things are like between the Chief Justice and the Hydro Archon?
All right, please wait just a moment longer. I've pretty much finished my preparations, and the performance will start as soon as the audience has made their way to their seats.
Yay! The show's finally about to start! Sorry.
Welcome, one and all, to the Opera Epiclese. I am my wonderful assistant. Please, let's give her a warm welcome.
Hello, everyone.
I know she may seem to be a little sleepy right now, but that's just a sign that she's nervous.
Whatever.
Now, some of you may be thinking, 2 vision holders who can freely is not true magic at all. So, I would like to take a moment to assure you that elemental powers... Both Lynette and myself have removed our visions for the show.
Oh, good point. That's what makes...
Now, without further ado, let the show begin. Lynette will now exit the stage to make some preparations. I know you might miss her, but don't worry. She'll be coming right back on stage momentarily. Oh, and before I forget, there's one more thing. You never know what can happen in the blink of an eye. A magician's greatest skill is making things disappear or appear. The possibilities are endless. Huh? These little tricks, you've seen them all before. Using this water tank, I shall make my sister vanish completely, right before your very eyes. It's actually quite simple. She'll just turn into air bubbles and float right out of the top. Oh no! I told them to check all the props carefully. With the lid on, even air can't escape. An amateur magician would be getting very nervous right around now. Luckily, it's me on stage. Lynette! We don't want to use up all our magic.
Hi, I'm back.
Uh-huh.
If we could see easily through his tricks, then that would mean that his skills are still lacking. To appreciate magic, you should focus on the show happening on stage, rather than getting caught up in trying to see that which has been intentionally hidden.
Guess you're right. Paimon couldn't believe—
Thank you everyone. But our magical journey has only the magic of transformation and disappearance can go far beyond what you've just seen. I'm sure many of you are, in which case, I have ample time to So, for my next trick, I will require the participation of— Please, if my assistant— There are 2 boxes, and only 2 boxes. One is here, and one is there in the aisle among the audience. I'm sure many of our clever audience members have already guessed our next magic trick. A swap! Our lucky audience member and I will each Now please, everyone pay very close attention.
Wow! Hey, do you think this is all magic tricks, or does Lenny—
The lucky audience member will be generated by this random number select. It selects numbers entirely at random. Even I don't know who will be chosen to participate. Now then, let's begin. Let me see. Oh, row 7, seat 3. Congratulations! You now have the chance to experience magic. Please, come forward. My assistant will take you— I'm sorry, it might be a little cramped inside, but no need to feel nervous. We've carefully arranged everything for you to be as comfortable as possible. You don't need to do anything, but no matter what strange things— If the magic is interrupted, who knows where you might end up? You might even find yourself in the Fortress of Meropide.
Oh.
All right. Before I enter the magic box, there is one more thing I need to ask the audience. Like this. 60, 59, 58. Just keep counting down. You can go a little faster or slower if you like. I won't be able to see anything in the pitch black box, so I'll be relying on your voices to know when time is up. Oh, and no tricks now. If you quickly count from 60 in just 30 seconds, then I'll be in a tough spot.
Ooh! Paimon kinda wants to count faster after hearing him say that—
No, that won't do. I can see it in your eyes. You, come on, repeat after me.
60!
That's right, perfect. Keep it going.
54, 53, why aren't you counting, Nervala?
I am counting in my head. I think things are exciting enough in here as it is. Merely a consequence of my identity and person.
Oh, alright. You look so serious that Paimon thought you might be feeling 40, 30...
Mr. Linney, are you all right in there?
Yes, I'm fine. I'm just double-checking the direction of the magic. It would be a disaster if we get sent to the wrong places.
Even though he's saying that, Lenny doesn't seem nervous at all. What was that noise? Did you hear it too? Not sure. Anyway, it doesn't—
25! 20! What's wrong, Mr. Linney? I can still hear you.
I seem to have accidentally knocked over a decoration.
Never mind the decorations.
No, that's unacceptable. I want my show to be perfect. Don't worry, we still have—
19! 18!
It seems things aren't quite— It feels like you're all starting to count faster, but that's all right. 10 seconds and...
10!
Almost there now. Whew. Swapping two people is harder work than you might think. Even a master magician like me can't guarantee I'll get it right the first time. Hey, wait! Is this the back one? I can't tell. They both look the same inside. Huh? No, that's not it. I'll try again.
7!
Hey, slow down! Honestly!
5! 4! 3!
Whoops! That doesn't count!
0!
Ta-da!
Is this part of... Mr. Lenny, you're going to...
What happened?
Oh no. Maybe this isn't part of the show. The girl was...
This performance is over. Medical staff with me. Guards, secure the scene and detain all the performers. Seal the exits. No one is allowed in or out at this time.
Yes, that's right. If this was just an accident, then we must investigate the cause. But if this was all part of...
No need to be alarmed, you two. We'll get to the bottom. Unfortunately, the person who is in the magic box has been pronounced dead. His name was Cowell, one of the assistants in Linny's magic troupe. Apparently, the fireworks on stage ignited the ropes that were suspending the water tank, which then caused the tank to fall onto the stage. As of now, we are still not sure why we found Cowell in the box, rather than the guest. And after an initial search of the area, the guards have confirmed that the girl... It appears that this incident was not merely some mishap, and there are many indications that it is connected...
That's the case that Charlotte mentioned.
I know the truth. I say that our powerful magician, Mr. Linny, is now the prime suspect for the serial disappearances case.
Huh? Why me?
Oh, this all occurred during your magic show, did it not? Now that I think about it, that whole speech...
That can't be right! He was in the box on the stage the entire time. Besides, before the show, he told us that he would like to catch the criminal behind the disappearances.
Save discussion for a later time, please. Lady Farina, may I assume that your comments just now constitute an accusation against Mr. Linny and his associates, and that you are pressing charges?
I just think that he... Well, I think it might be a little early to talk about formally pressing charges.
But what Lady Farina said just now makes perfect sense.
A kidnapping and murder carried out...
Of course, my dear people. That's right. I mean you, traveler. You support Linny. Then there's but with Linny's help, our little duel ended in a draw. So no more draws. Between the two of us, there must be a clear winner and loser. And what better place to hold such a riveting showdown and decide the true victor than here, on the grandest of stages, the Opera Epiclese.
It wasn't a draw.
I understand. Charges have now been pressed, and as such, a trial is in order. Well, traveler, seems Lady Farina has set you in her sights. But putting her dramatic rhetoric aside for a moment, I would like to ask you, are you willing to act as Mr. Linny's attorney and defend him in this case? Very well. The trial will be held a day from now in the Opera House. Both sides may investigate the scene to build their cases and search for the truth. Linny and his troop are all potential suspects and shall remain. The audience may begin to leave in an orderly fashion once...
A day isn't that long. Let's see what kind of case this big shot Outlander can build in such a short amount of time.
Linny!
Sorry about everything that happened just now.
Of course! Who wouldn't be scared after witnessing an accident like that?
Yeah, I'm a little shaken up I know you already claimed that you would defend me, but now I understand. I'm sure everyone sees me as the biggest suspect. I don't know whether what happened there on the stage was purely an accident or not. And I don't know why poor Cal was in the box. As for how that girl chosen from the audience could suddenly disappear, even a skilled and knowledgeable magician like myself couldn't pull off.
Which is precisely why we need to investigate! As this book says, the impossible could not have happened. Whatever happened must have been that which is possible. Paimon bought them when we were reading at the bookshop in the city, Lynette.
That's the right attitude. But with the guards watching our every move, it's going to be especially difficult. Good thing you agreed to be our attorney.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, just like... since we're going to...
Ah, well...
The secrets behind our magic are past saving, Linny.
I suppose you're right. 'Tis truly a pity. As a magician, our magic... But if revealing our secrets will... We should go somewhere else if we're going to discuss our magic tricks. We'll go speak with...
All right, let's go have a look while the investigation... Hello, officer. How's the investigation going?
I see. You must be the traveler that Lady Farina mentioned. Listen, come with me and you'll see. The deceased is one of Linny's assistants, named Cal. Even though he hadn't joined the troop, the assistants are usually in charge of setting up and inspecting the props, as well as assisting with the show and keeping the crowd engaged. As you probably saw when you were in the audience, the water tank suddenly fell and smashed the box with This is the real mystery. We've already searched the scene. However, if you look carefully, the box was positioned directly under the water tank. The ropes holding the tank were then burned by the pyrotechnics on stage, causing them to snap. All these factors lining up so perfectly makes it hard to see this as a mere accident. If anything, the more logical explanation is that the whole incident was
But he doesn't have a motive!
Are you both good? So in just a short time, he was not only able to... I know there's no such thing as magic. I've seen a lot of cases, and I can tell you that people are the least reliable kind of evidence. Sorry, I tend to be pretty straightforward. Anyway, you may investigate the scene of the crime yourselves if you're curious. Who knows, maybe you'll be able to...
The investigation team has some new findings. Turns out there's an issue with the random number selector after all.
See, I told you. What if the machine picked some big guy's seat? You think the murderer would have still made his move then?
Sorry to interrupt, but we're helping Linny and Lynette with their side of the investigation.
You're trying to help them?
Linny used the machine to pick a random member of the audience during his performance, right? The lucky girl that later disappeared. Well, we thought there might be a serious problem with the machine, so we had it taken away for further inspection.
It turns out that the seat number it picked wasn't random at all. The machine picks that same number every time. I'm sure you already know that you have to make a reservation in advance to get a seat. In other words, Linny knew who would be sitting where from the very beginning.
That much checks out. Linny reserved our seats for us too.
Bet you see why I was saying it'd be tough to make a case for Linny.
Even though it's bad for Linny...
Go ahead, have a look around. In the
Hello there. What?
Oh, this location has also been cordoned off because the magic troupe the seats were all booked in advance. So we were able to deduce the missing woman's identity. Sure, it's not like this is confidential information. We will publish it later anyway when we petition the public to help us find the missing. Her name is Halsey. She's a painter from Fontaine. Apparently, she wasn't a regular at the Opera House, but she'd been feeling some pressure with her work lately. The magic troupe members all claim not to know her. We have looked into her social connections. Simply put, she wasn't related to the magic troupe at all, which matches.
Were the victims?
That's how it seems to us, in any case. Apart from the fact that they were all.
Okay.
No need to be so formal. If you do happen, it is of utmost importance that we get to.
So this is the rope that broke and cut. The rope looks pretty durable. How can it be burned through so quickly by fireworks? Why are you suddenly so serious, Traveler? Whoa. Look! This bit is made from different material! Most of it was burned away, but there's still a little bit of it left. Huh. So if a rope meant to hold... Wait! Paimon should write all...
I see that you're investigating the area. If you find any new and interesting
We don't have to...
then why don't I tell you?
The thud? Oh!
Yes, exactly. It wasn't terrible. It's just that everyone was awaiting the results of Linny's trick with bated breath. I'm of the opinion that it may have been the sound of Linny's accomplice. Lynette, perhaps. Jumping, and when the pyrotechnics went off, she...
Wait, wasn't the noise...
Perhaps the balance wasn't right, leading to a particularly... Oh, that's true.
That does remind...
Lenny's still talking to the guards. I think someone will be assigned to monitor us later.
Whoever the murderer was, this rope was obvious. People need... Why would it... God, we all heard that noise, didn't we?
Hey, you! Yes, both of you.
Huh? You mean us?
That's right. If I'm not mistaken, you're also among those who...
Well, you're right on the more about that one, but who are you?
From mediating disputes and providing protection to solving conundrums, you name it. And I, Navia, have the honor of being its renowned president. Though those who play by our rules call me boss.
I'm Silver, her attendant. Pleased to meet you.
And I'm Melus, Demoiselle's very...
Huh? Boss?
Well, I am the second generation president.
My apologies, Demoiselle. Should you prefer...
No, no need. You don't have to call me boss.
Okay, if you say so.
All merely trifling That's right. I've always kept an eye on the serial judging from the look of things.
Really? We think split...
Intuition, naturally. Farina sure was quick to point the finger at Linny without any decisive evidence whatsoever. But that's not uncommon for her. If you remember, the Justice had to interrupt her and ask if she was pressing charges just to keep her from getting carried away. Anyway, a trial begins the moment someone levels charges. And, of course...
Sounds more like you...
Well, what's your opinion? I must admit that she can be... All right, I've answered your question.
Wait a minute, did that...
Well, I say it does. But don't worry. In your opinion, do you think it's right to treat a trial like it's an
well?
And why would that be?
Most astute of you, Demoiselle. No matter how wonderful the script or how fervent the audience is, then if that can be done...
All right, that's quite enough, Malus. Anyway, I like your answer. Now, I need to make some preparations, following which our joint
Wait! Since when did we become...
Oh, well,
That's more like it.
Far be it from me to brag, but I believe that Demoiselle's intuition... You wish to save a friend from false accusations, and...
You have a point. And what about you over there? What do you think? You seem like you've got something on your mind.
I have nothing to add.
Oh.
We'll be making some preparations first. Just be sure to let us know if they start revealing
Sorry, but no one can freely enter or...
No, we're not leaving. Were you always guarding this entrance?
Yes. After the Chief Justice gave the order, everyone coming in... So, the missing girl couldn't have left from here. At least, not from that point on. I doubt there was much opportunity...
How can you be so sure?
Well, because I was in charge of security near the entrance at that time. I couldn't see Linny's performance from here, but still, I did not abandon my post. And I stayed put no matter how loud the applause was. We Melazines are good at that sort of thing, you know.
So, it's safe to say... All right, thank you for your help. We've checked everything of note here at the performance venue. Paimon wonders how Linny's discussion with the guards is going. Let's go see, shall we? Ooh, things are getting interesting, huh? We're about to see how magic is made.
Understood. Then I will be going with you. Just so you're aware.
Very good. Thanks for being so agreeable.
You may spare the pleasantries.
You've arrived. Who's this?
Me? I'm... Sorry, I got a little carried away. And these are my companions. Would you mind if they'd...
Find my...
Oh, new help.
Well, let's just say we're tagging along. It's not every...
I appreciate your kind interest. Come with me. We'll be heading below stage.
Huh? Below stage?
Yes, a world of secrets is hidden beneath this magic box, prepared specifically for this switcheroo trick. But before I reveal everything, you should have a look first. Notice anything strange here? I'm not trying to be dramatic. Remembering the details of a trick will help you understand the methods used to perform.
weren't there
Good eye. That said, you're still
the back? You mean the...
Very good indeed. The back of this door was patterned. Those patterns are now gone, replaced by a smooth wooden board. So, if you put 2 and 2 together, what do you get? Exactly.
Oh, so there was a passageway under the magic box!
I knew you'd figure out most of it as soon as you saw this place. The 2 magic boxes are positioned right above the 2. See this flatbed trolley? The box with the lucky audience member in it would be shuttled over to the other side using the trolley.
This trolley can raise and lower and even rotate, and
I see. So that...
Precisely. The inner box would descend after the audience member was put inside and be moved along the trolley, all while the outer box would remain on stage.
So that's how you...
Once the box was lowered, the trolley would store some energy through this device here, with which it would complete the rest of the steps. The audience member would only be able to feel some slight movements in the dark, and by the time she walked out, she would already be back on—
Right! You were talking that whole time—
Ah, yes. A phonograph operated by Lynette was used to achieve that effect. My assistant and I had already scripted our conversation beforehand. When the countdown began, I had already gone to the opposite box via a tunnel using that ladder.
And what about Lynette? Where was she?
I was in the mezzanine space in the back of the box.
Oh, interesting!
That's how we were able to coordinate Linny's lines with the assistant. And by the way,
Lynette would briefly walk out of the box and then go back in, jumping into the tunnel and escaping before the box on the trolley could finish ascending. And then I walk out of the other box in the audience area, and the trick would be complete. The operative word here being would. But as you saw, Cal was in the box, not our audience member.
We really don't know how—
If not for that interlude, this would have been an astonishing trick. And yet, to think that someone was able to use— Could we have a look around?
This is the scene of the crime, so Linny and Lynette are not permitted to stay here. I'll escort them back up.
Yes, of course. No need to be so strict now.
Thanks, everyone. We're count—
Looks like a hook tied to the end of a rope. Huh?
Perhaps it was a prop for a different trick.
Whatever it is.
The floor is wet. Please be careful not to slip.
Speaking of which, why would there...
Oh! Paimon knows! It's one of those... And here's a broken vase!
That can't be. Oh, these are the clothes that... Her clothes are here, but she's nowhere to be...
Right! And do you... Ugh, this is so confusing. Paimon doesn't want to be a detective anymore. What is this place?
It seems someone could fit through.
Alone, perhaps. But if they had to pull enough...
But there are no other ways in or out of here. Oh, you're right! Let Paimon right... Seems we're just about done investigating down here.
Yes, let's head back up. So, what did the guards say? Did the criminal escape through the vent?
They believe the odds of that are very low, since the guards have checked the area carefully. No one left through the base.
So the tunnels become like a secret chamber then.
The plot thickens. No wonder Farina was so confident in her accusation.
In other words, the charges are very likely to be...
Charges and then trial.
That's right. This is how a trial goes in the Opera House. During the proceedings, the Chief Justice and the Oratrice will hear statements. That's right. This is how indemnitium is produced. The statements from both sides, the defenses from attorneys, witness testimonies, and even the audience's emotions will all be projected on the Oratrice. To put it simply, it's as if the Oratrice has its own...
This also precludes any kind of favoritism on the part of the Chief Justice. Not that this has ever happened anyway.
Once both sides have finished speaking, the Chief Justice will make his final decision. This, too, will be used by the Oratrice as a reference. Then, finally, the Oratrice will be consulted by officials. The result it returns is the will of justice itself.
Huh? So that machine is the one that actually decides?
In practice, there is very little difference. Both have always come to the same judgment. Which is why... yes, the guards also asked me to convey that none of us...
Huh?
Because we've chosen to act as the twins' proxies. That makes up...
They're concerned that we might be colluding with outside parties. Or that and even if that were not so,
I'm ready to break out at any time.
Whoa! There's no need for that!
Of course. I just hope you don't...
In that case, let's just sort out our findings together here. I mean, what better...
Huh. Breaking out, so Just kidding! Just kidding!
What do you mean, no snacks?
Huh?
Understood, Demoiselle. Everyone, please come with...
Wait, you're carrying a portable...
Yes, I must be prepared to meet the Demoiselle...
I have eggs, sugar, and almonds at the ready.
Good work, you two. Then
these three are quite the interesting... From the way you had these two guys carrying all that stuff around, but you ended up doing the entire thing by yourself.
I was applauding.
And I was giving encouraging smiles.
Paimon was just thinking. Aren't you
Well, don't underestimate beating egg weights, by the way. It's a real arm workout. Anyway.
Only 3?
Well, eating too many...
Tea is ready to be served as well. No need for concern.
right then. Down to business. However, we can assume that Linny and Lynette were not alone within it. The magician twins could have committed the crimes, of course.
Exactly! Why would they do such a thing right when everyone was...
The flower vase and the thud we heard during the performance could indicate some altercation between Halsey and the criminal in the tunnel, resulting in the shattering of the vase, the discarding of her cloak. Perhaps the criminal thought that since she was chosen from the crowd, she would be too easy to identify.
Paimon thinks them.
True. None of the clues we found thus far support the existence of this third person. But the only people left to consider are both technically victims. Whether it's the missing girl, Halsey.
Huh.
That's right. And even if she had tampered with the setup, she would need to understand, nor does she have any motive.
From the sound of things, this is turning... Your macarons are amazing. What? 5?
Please don't worry about it. At my age, if you...
No. Besides, Paimon knows that if she ate 2 Wait. Even you don't believe if Paimon ate those 2 extra macarons?
All right, we get it. Malus, set up the stove again.
Huh?
Making sure everyone gets 3 macarons of...
Exactly. We don't want...
As you wish.
And I have the egg, sugar, and almonds.
Well, this really is your hobby, huh?
Well, that's it for snack time. I don't know what we're looking... It would be awkward if you got...
All right, thanks for your help. And...
It was nothing. A small task for the Spina di Rosula. Silver, Malus, it's time to... I'll be back if I find anything.
All right, it's time to put our heads together. We've got to get our defense ready for the trial. Oh, it's probably gonna be a long and difficult case. There's no point in worrying about that now. We just need to prepare. Here, take Paimon's notes. They should help you review the situation.
Shine down!
What do we do? The whole situation could plan.
Just relax. Even if everyone else suspects... Besides, I doubt Farina understands any more about what happened.
Thanks, Navia.
Best of luck to you.
Ah, finally, you're back. Well, how...
To be honest?
No.
Well now, don't you all look disappointed? Don't tell me that you're investigating. That was to be expected, of course. The guilty can never produce proof of their innocence. But don't let that stop you. I shall be terribly disappointed.
Since both parties are present, I declare that the trial regarding the magic show incident is now in session. Firstly, in order for the audience to understand the causes and results of the incident, could we please have Mr. Linney explain the trick?
Yes, of course. I will explain while Lynette demonstrates on stage. All the necessary items have been prepared.
Thank you, Mr. Linney. In that case, I take your you ran to and remained hidden within the magic box in the audience stands once the trick began, and thus could not have committed the crime. Is that...
Yes, that's correct.
In that case, I call upon the prosecution. Lady Farina.
Why, of course I do. Allow me to take the first shot and break this case wide open. Mr. Linney is clearly lying. There is no way you could have been in the box the whole time if you were to abduct Halsey and murder Cowell. In fact, I'd say...
That is simply your hypothesis based on the presumption that I'm guilty.
Oh, is that so? And if I may ask, what did you...
The roaring countdown of the crowd, of course. That's how I kept track of the
And you didn't hear anything else?
No, nothing.
I see. But when the count reached 30 seconds or so, there was...
Huh?
Hey, hang on!
Yeah, I'm sure he could have heard a noise that...
I was right by the box, and I definitely heard the...
Look at those scales. Could those be...
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to use the words of the magician himself. You never know what can happen in the blink of an eye. Of course, I have armed myself to do far more than smash your alibi. Confidence cannot go unfounded, and my foundations are rock solid.
The House of the Hearth?
No wonder they did some...
So the serial disappearances were the Fatui's doing.
I've got a feeling that what happened on stage probably wasn't just an act.
That's irrelevant. Our identities have nothing to do with what happened.
Indeed. Then perhaps you could tell us Your first priority is to prove yourself innocent after all. I'm sure there is little that needs to be kept secret now. Unless... The Outlander is speechless. My, oh my, don't they look flabbergasted? Now comes the infighting and... Good thing I made all those preparations. Seems the all-nighter I pulled last night is really paying off.
Hey, Linny!
Order! Order! Mr. Linney, allow me to re-establish the facts. Lady first, when the thud was heard in the Opera House, you were neither in the box nor the tunnel. Second, you and Ms. Lynette are both members of the House of the Hearth. Are these claims true? Please answer my question, Mr. Linney.
I'm sorry. Yes, they're true, Your Honor.
I knew it!
Well, that's it. We might as well move on to the sentencing.
What should we do now?
Granted. In that case, what is your request?
Is that really necessary?
The defendant deceived their own attorneys. What is there left to discuss?
Order! Order, I say! Your request is reasonable, and we shall adjourn. This trial will reconvene in 1 hour.
So you would stick to Mr. Linney's defense even in that case. My dear audience, let's allow...
Well, this is awkward. I didn't think the Hydro Archon would dig all I'm sorry.
Yeah. Paimon, we based our entire reasoning on this, not to set the wrong tone or anything.
I'm very sorry. I know you've clashed with the Fatui several times before. I wouldn't be surprised, but our organization is very, very large.
Right now, we want to save people.
That's right. I'm sure we're on the same page when it comes to this. I knew if it weren't for our respective identities, we could become good friends. That's why I didn't wish to flat out lie to you, but chose... The truth is very important, but being completely transparent about everything would see us spending more effort. Right. So, you be the judge. You met a Fatus who works as a magician, a trickster by trade. But still, I'm asking you to
Sorry. Well, you both say that, but... Right, let's hear...
Of course. We've been trying to find out how the Oratrice operates. We want to know why it has a consciousness. During our investigations, we learned that the machine... From that moment on, Lynette and I have been designed...
Is that why you needed a whole minute?
That's right. In truth, the audience would take about 75 seconds to count down from 60, while I would only need 15. So, after jumping into the tunnel, I accessed the Opera House basement via the vent, and went to investigate the room.
That air vent was created during the construction of the tunnel specifically to execute this step.
Well, nothing. Which should have been impossible, of course. That voice seemed to recognize me and tried to speak to me. I chose to err on the side of caution and retreated the way I came. On the way back, I saw the broken vase and the clothes on the ground. But after that, the homicide occurred just as you saw.
Well, that explains why you didn't hear the thud.
Because of that prophecy I told you about, of course.
That's the only way we can save every...
So, there you have it. It was never my wish to proceed, but like I said earlier, you can be the judge.
Well, Traveler, you decide. Paimon will follow your lead however you choose.
Okay.
Thanks for giving us a chance.
The current problem is that the scales are tipped pretty badly against you. If we want to refute the Hydro Archon's accusations, we're gonna need a... Huh?
Both parties have returned to their positions. Let us When last we left off, Mr. Linney acknowledged the new evidence presented by Lady Farina as fact. Therefore, Lady Farina may continue stating her reconstruction of the event.
That took long enough. At this stage, let's revisit that scene from Linney's perspective. As the countdown began, he entered the tunnel. When the flatbed trolley passed, he opened the box and got into an altercation with Halsey, which caused the loud thud. He did not realize that the sound could be heard by everyone in the opera house, which is why, finally, he used the vase to knock her out before making her change clothes. At this time, Cowell arrived in the tunnel, having heard that strange... So Linney proceeded to knock him out. Afterward, Linney passed the unconscious Halsey to his accomplice through the magic box in the audience stands, before operating the devices such that Cowell... And there you have it.
Does the defendant's side have any objection?
The key to refuting Lady Farina is the order... According to Linney, he left via the vent after entering the tunnel. Linney went... Linney did not take part in the underground...
Attention! When the countdown started, Linney did indeed go into the... But he immediately used a vent to access the... Once he reached that area, he heard a voice in what should have been An empty room. Since he felt the crime scene had already developed by the time he reached the tunnel again. And in order to complete the magic trick, he did not remain there for any length of time. Finally, he reached the surface, and that was when... Paimon did it!
In other words, you believe that he knew nothing of...
That's right!
My reasoning?
If that's the case, then if Cowell hadn't entered the tunnel, who was the entire setup meant to kill? Assuming that what you say is true, Lenny only needed to kidnap the young girl to cause a new disappearance case. What would the point of killing so...
Oh, they have a point.
That's right, you tell him! Well, your denial is very strident, I'll give you that. But what proof do you have to back your claim? Of course I do. If he had been in the magic box the whole time... You're saying that he wasn't?
Are you sure we don't need to give this more thought? That's right! Lenny wasn't in the box or in the... This means that when the crime happened, the same clue you used to disprove his alibi has now been...
What? To think you'd use such logic. Well then, if it wasn't Lenny who committed the crimes, then who was it?
The deceased's name is Cowell, Lenny's assistant. Halsey is the missing person and an ordinary audience. Could there have been a third person involved? Halsey is the missing person and an ordinary audience member. Or did she have her own scheme all along? Could there have been a third person involved? Is that really a possibility? Halsey is the missing person and an Could there have been a third? The deceased's name is
Huh? That can't be right.
What I must do next is recreate the truth. What Cowell did, and how he went from would-be perpetrator. No one entered or left the opera house through its entrances. So, where would the criminal have wanted to take Halsey? The deceased's name is Cowell, Lenny's assistant. He would have been able... Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel. So, there must have been some fear that she would attract attention. It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. Lenny was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave our criminal ample time. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the criminal. one entered or left the... Lenny was not in the tunnel at that moment. The sound we heard made... Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel. Lenny was not in the tunnel. The deceased's name is... Halsey's clothing... No one entered or left... No one entered or left. It would have been tough for both people to fit into that. The deceased's name is... It would have been tough for both people to... It would have been tough for both... The deceased's name is... Halsey's clothing was in the...
What's wrong, Traveler? Are you still having
Look, since we're at a dead, just like the trick is it
If only we knew how Halsey...
Well, that would be nice, but the tunnel only has 3 ends. And it's not like this is a magic trick where you can just make a real...
Excuse my interruption.
If the defense is unable to make further effective arguments, we will move on to the next stage of the trial.
Lenny was not in the tunnel at that moment. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and... The deceased's name is Cowell, Lenny's... The vase was not broken by chance.
Paimon gets it! It all comes together if Halsey disappeared and Lynette escaped from the water tank vanished. If there's a similar method...
How could a person ever be transformed into water? This is... Most magic tricks are ultimately just illusions and mystery.
Even so, the truth must be out there somewhere. Perhaps some new line of reason. Since Cal was the deceased, we haven't placed much attention on him. But given that we aren't making much progress with the case, it wouldn't hurt to have...
People really do come up with all sorts of harebrained schemes when at the end of their rope. The way I see it, your suggestion that we...
Nevertheless, I believe that this is a reasonable request on the part of an attorney. Since the trial does indeed appear to be at an impasse, I believe that additional guards, please step into the lounge and examine the personal effects of the deceased.
We are still examining the items, but we have already made critical progress that we feel must be shared. We discovered several test tubes of fluid within Cowell's baggage. The notebook in his backpack claims that these fluids are... water from the primordial sea.
The primordial sea?
The note's contents also indicate that Cowell belonged to an organization that sells illegal drugs and that he had an accomplice. The notebook has many entries concerning safe usage of these fluids, in which the keyword dissolve appears many times. One of these tubes was labeled Opera Epiclese, along with yesterday's date. It is empty. The notes also state that these dissolution properties work exclusively on people from Fontaine. It's likely that Halsey was chosen as some sort of test subject. As such, we believe that the defense's hypothesis is, in fact, supported by sufficient evidence.
You've got to be kidding! People deserve...
Could something so ridiculous act...
Wait a moment. This reminds me of a certain prophecy.
Huh. If people can become water, does that mean that the water tank's real use was as a means to hide water stains? And if Cowell was targeting that... Wait just a minute. Could that mean... You...
Demoiselle, wait! What about your
Let's go. Just...
Order! Order! It is undeniable that further examination of the deceased... Still, let us assume that these clues are indeed authentic, albeit with the understanding that Ms. Halsey has yet to be found. Guards, please continue examining the items along these lines. Mr. Linney, it It appears your hypothesis is supported by the evidence.
Of course. Thank you. If we uphold this hypothesis, I believe that many of this—
Right! Like the metal hut! Let's think about this. Cowell's methods must have something to do with that water from the primordial sea.
The deceased's name is Cowell. Now it seems like the hook rope was not meant for another magic trick, but was instead some form of trick. The water from the primordial sea should The rope that strung the... I remember there was something else with... Lynette was in the magic box on stage the entire time. I remember there was some...
It's ace in the original plan. Cowell would tamper with the water tank rope, and the number selector securing his When the magic box containing Halsey was lowered, the metal hook would retract gradually and pierce the balloon at the top of the box. When the balloon attached to the box popped, the water from the primordial seed inside it would pour down and dissolve Halsey. Afterward, Cowell would enter the tunnel and break the flower vase to conceal the... But he encountered something unexpected in the...
That actually links together a lot of the more confusing pieces.
Oh dear, what do I do? Even I think they sound convincing now. Have I falsely accused an innocent person? What a humiliation.
Now, it seems like the only point of contention— his notes mentioned he had an accomplice—
On that note, the guards have just contacted me indicating that they uncovered new evidence. I shall now invite him on stage.
Thank you, Your Honor. We were just inspecting the luggage of the other people, and we found an identical sample of the water from the primordial sea among Linny's personal effects.
What?
That can't be. Does this not, my dear citizens? Linny did not need to take part in the dissolution, having made modifications to the props beforehand. His accomplice but upon his return, in cruel avarice, Linny desired sole credit and prepared to do away. Ultimately, he knocked Cowell out, and the tool meant to cover the crime up. Now, as much as I regret having come to such a am I right?
We've used up all the evidence we... Is this the end?
Oh no! Seems using the water as new evidence was too good a move.
I think we've all seen, and I believe this is indeed... Now then, my good, noble Chief Justice. Excuse me, everyone.
Miss, I must ask you not to shout, and to
Oh, come on. Don't be hasty. I have a good reason for interrupting, you know. Now, I'll show you an amazing trick. One that can bring a young woman who has disappeared back in the flesh, right before your... What in the...
No offense, miss, but miracles like that...
Come on now, don't be silly. Magic is all about misdirection, isn't it? But once everyone believes the illusion, can't magic reveal the truth to them once again? And wouldn't such a trick be the... Come on, Linny and Lynette. Give it another but as the magic makers and stars of the show, I think I should leave the final performance to you.
I understand.
And voila!
Wait, isn't that Halsey?
To be clear, I'm only here because this person told me that if I testified, the merit of doing so would lessen my sentence. I was hiding outside this room listening to the proceedings because I was afraid. I was just feeling happy that no one had noticed me. And then...
That'll teach you to
Where should I begin? I'm sorry.
What? Why?
Firstly, my name isn't Halsey. It's Lillian. And I heard that Linny's show was gonna be a real That's how I make a living. I steal stuff here and there. But I was noticed at the harbor a few days ago, and I barely got away. Linny was—
Hey! No wonder you looked Linny even mentioned that you were pretty—
Well, and I thought that would have been the end of it, but then the number selector— He even mentioned the Fortress of Meripede. That's a prison, isn't it? So you can imagine how shocked I was. I thought he was on to me for sure. So I played along with the show while looking for an opening to flee, but then I got water poured on me for no reason, and then someone jumped into the tunnel to nab me. I wasn't going to take that lying down, so I knocked him out and stuffed him into the box. There was nowhere to run from there, though, so I had to change my clothes and hide in a box containing performance costumes. I slipped out after the first guard arrived at the scene and continued hiding inside the opera house.
Can a person even hide in there?
But I swear, I didn't know that the water tank would fall down. Had I known that, I wouldn't have put him in the magic box.
Well, that makes everything pretty clear now, doesn't it?
This time, we need to tell the entire story from Lillian's perspective. The strange sound wasn't from a fight. It was Lillian's attempt to break out when she was frightened. The flower vase was not Lillian was afraid that she would be recognized if she left, so she changed clothes and hid, biding her time.
And it's Ace Detective Paimon time! Having been selected out of her panic only intensified after hearing the commotion, he did not know that Lillian mistakenly believed the two broke with no way of escape. That she would have to go through guard inspection if she tried to leave afterward.
She had already become desperately hungry by the time we were chatting over macarons. So, she's—
At this point, all the events that happened in the tunnel—
Ah, so that—
Bravo!
Now then, Lady Farina, do you wish to speak against the defense's statements? Please answer the question, Lady Farina. Also, if I may add, the trial has not yet ended. As such, I request that the prosecution not leave the room before the proceedings have concluded.
What are you... No, I have no further.
Wow! Look at that!
If there are no objections, then as the Chief Justice of Fontaine, I shall once again repeat the full sequence of events. The actual perpetrator of the serial disappearances, Cowell, selected his next victim from the audience reservation list. With some modifications to the selector, he could ensure that the pre-selected young woman would be chosen. To cover up any evidence while committing the deed, Cowell thought of allowing the water tank to fall, which would conceal the water left behind after the young woman was dissolved. He also tampered with the rope suspending the water tank, using the fireworks at the end of the performance to cause the tank to drop and hide the watermarks. He poured the water from the primordial sea into a balloon during the preparation of the magic box and stuck it to the box's lid. Finally, he passed the prepared hook on a rope through the gap in the magic box's door when bringing the young woman to said box. When the magic trick officially began, the box containing the woman was lowered into the tunnel, tightening the hook rope and bursting the balloon containing the water. If all had gone to plan, the young woman would be dissolved at this time. However, Lillian was not from Fontaine and thus fled the box with a loud noise. Realizing that there was trouble, Cowell entered the tunnel and met Lillian. Thinking that the waters had not yet taken effect, he decided to proceed. However, his opponent was more capable than he thought, and he was overcome, knocked unconscious, and placed into the magic box. Lillian, according to her own statements, then As for Linny, he was in the underground structures within the Opera House, and was thus ignorant of these happenings. From this reconstruction of events, we can conclude that Linny, the accused, is in fact innocent. While there is much in Linny and Lillian's conduct that should still be investigated separately, this case, at least, can be handed over to the Oratrice to make the final decision. As such, Linny and Lynette are officially declared not guilty.
Great work. Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Next, I think we deserve an explanation, Guard Vaughn. How did you find the water from the primordial sea?
Right! Your discovery caused me to make a serious mistake.
I suspect that the accomplice mentioned in Cowell's notes was not Linny, but you, yes? I'm sure you know what you must do to
Speak quickly! Unless you want to earn yourself a one-way ticket to Coupon Town.
We were supposed to place blame for the serial disappearances onto Linny, and thus cause suspicion to fall on the Fatui. The higher-ups said this was the best opportunity to do so.
And now that your plan has fallen through, and the secrets of the water have been revealed, you have become a liability to said higher-up. Therefore, you would be wise to tell everything you know, and seek the protection of the guards.
Yes, I'll tell you everything Our boss discovered that the water, it can also be made into a potion, which when extremely diluted, can cause people to experience unforgettable exhilaration. We've been in this business for a while now, and have made decent mora off it. The disappearances were also the boss's...
And now he can no longer...
Such ruthlessness.
Outrageous. All present, please submit to inspection immediately.
So, we're just going back now? That's...
Traveler, Paimon! Please wait.
Linny...
I know you may not want to speak to me right now, but still. Let me thank you again for I guess. But I didn't approach you with any ulterior motives or ill intent. As for why I'm a Fatus, it's because the goals of the House of the Hearth align with those of an orphan like me. That was how Father, who you might know as the Knave, approached recruiting—
The Knave? The one who—
That's right. And since we're back when our parents first died, Lynette and I were left wandering the streets. To survive, I took to surreptitiously observing an older street performer who did magic. I took my sister through several streets until we found a crowded corner. To my surprise, we proved to be pretty popular. Before long, an aristocrat came to me.
So you went from orphans to—
That was how we felt at first, too. But I gradually discovered that while we were called foster children, he would constantly take me to all sorts of banquets to garner it.
That doesn't seem too bad either.
After one particular performance at a banquet, I waited a long time after we returned. The answer he gave me was, she caught the eye of the most eminent person at the banquet, so I sent—
Oh no. But what if—
As far as outsiders are concerned, this is a relationship. I managed to ferret out the location of the man. All I saw was the moonlit ground covered in blood.
So, she'd already—
That's right. She had rescued my sister before she could come to any harm, and had even discovered several— the knave, might have seen something in me, and so she made me an offer. The House of the Hearth welcomes you, for your interests align with ours. Here, none will ever betray you. I was hesitant to trust her, but she was also quick to destroy the noble who had—
Oh, so that's how the two of you joined the House of the Hearth.
She has gained permission from the Tsaritsa to first use the Gnosis's power once she obtains it. She plans to use it to find a way to break the prophecy and save Fontaine.
So, she believes—
That's right. The whole House of the Hearth is currently working to combat that crisis. Today's case has also proven that people from Fontaine can indeed dissolve into some sort of water, thus further supporting the prophecy. All of us house members here, Lady Arlecchino herself included, are from Fontaine. We won't give up on defending our homeland. To us orphans, the only connection we have left—
So, from small deeds like distributing magic pockets to huge schemes like stealing a Gnosis—
It's alright. I just hope you can— if you should need anything at all in—
Bye, Linny!
Hey there. What was with the disappearing act you pulled right as the trial ended?
Were you looking for us, Navia?
Well, this whole thing isn't exactly over, is it? I do feel that we're getting closer to solving the serial disappearances case, though. Don't you think so, too? Huh? What's wrong, my dear partner?
Besides, are you sure we're the ones who can crack a case that's been cold for decades now? And given that there's new evidence from the trial, there should be a trail of breadcrumbs for the Hydro Archon's people to follow now, right?
Ah, I see. Well, sorry. I might have been too presumptuous.
Don't say that, Navia.
Ah, and we were having so much fun investigating with you, too. It was like having new waters flowing into a stagnant mire, causing new sorry about that. Wait, shall we have a farewell?
Huh? Do we really need to get that formal? Well, guess you really did treat us as partners, huh?
Well, I'd just like to have a proper ending to every important— Anyway, it would just be a meal, so—
You don't have to twist Paimon's arm if Boss Nav—
Oh, wonderful!
All right, then.